He's Thundarr, I'm E-Lightning, and welcome to Sports Storm.
Today we will be redrafting this past year's 2015 NBA draft, just the top 10. So let's get right into it. The number one overall selection, Karl Anthony Towns. Who do you have him going to? Or not Karl Anthony Towns, Minnesota Timberwolves.
Well, this is quite obvious. Karl Anthony Towns is having one of the best rookie seasons for a big man since Shaq. I mean, he's averaging a double-double, which is rare for a rookie. I mean, he's shown in flashes that he can be, I think by the end of his career, he can be like an Anthony Davis, if not better level talent. I mean, there's nowhere else you have to go in terms of potential, just right now play, like everything. Karl Anthony Towns is a complete product.
Yeah, I also have Karl Anthony Towns. Like you said, one of the best rookie seasons by a big man since Shaq. I mean, he's putting up elite level numbers. I'd say he's easily a top 5 center in the NBA already. I think eventually he'll challenge DeMarcus Cousins for that top spot as an.
I don't think he's easily a top 5 center.
I think he's definitely maybe even a top 3 center right now.
I think he's 4.
I see him as the 3, but that was in a different video. But I think even next year, I think he can challenge DeMarcus Cousins for that top center spot. This was a great pick by Minnesota in the original draft. On to the second overall pick, the Los Angeles Lakers spent this pick on D'Angelo Russell in the original draft. Who do you have him picking in this redraft?
I have him picking Kristaps Porzingis, aka Porzingod. I mean, he was everything as promised. You know, those European big men, you never know if they're going to bust or not. But he has proven to be. He can be a stretch 4. He can beat up in the post. He can get rebounds. He can get putback dunks. He's proven exactly as advertised. A very good 7-footer who can also stretch the court. I think in terms of overall play potential, the two things I'm measuring as, this pick fits the Lakers.
I also have Porzingis going to the Los Angeles Lakers. He's put up also one of the better rookie seasons out of this class. He's averaging about 14 points and 7 boards, along with 2 blocks. So I think he is having a very good season for his rookie year. I'm just not sure if he was drafted by the Lakers, if he'd succeed as much as he has, because I don't think Kobe is a very good mentor for. I mean, Kobe has played with previous 7-footers.
Kobe has mentored D'Angelo Russell actually pretty well this season. I mean, Kobe stuck with him through the scandal, which I was very surprised about, the whole Snapchatting things between him and Nick Young. Kobe actually is stuck with Russell, which is very good. Because Russell right now must be feeling down in the dumps, and Kobe helping him kind of helps, but that's a video for another time, or topic.
Yeah, all right, on to the third overall pick. The Philadelphia 76ers probably should have had at least one of the top 2 picks, but again, their lottery luck is bad. So they had the third overall pick, originally selected Jahlil Okafor as their third big man on their team. Who do you have them picking in this redraft?
I have them picking D'Angelo Russell, obviously. Obviously you can't pass up on D'Angelo Russell if you're 76ers. You've had shaky, inconsistent guard play so far with Isaiah Cannon and Ish Smith. I mean, some nights Ish Smith can look like a pretty good distributor and a decent scorer. Other nights he can look like a dude who, puts up 38 shots and makes, 10 of them. So, you never know. I think D'Angelo Russell would be good. He's shown potential. He's shown what he actually can do. I mean, good player. He can shoot. He can pass. I think D'Angelo Russell would be the pick for them.
I also have D'Angelo Russell going to the Philadelphia 76ers. Like you said, inconsistent guard play. Ish Smith and Isaiah Cannon are not leading you to a title. I think D'Angelo Russell could develop into a top 5 point guard. He is averaging about 13 points, 3 boards, 3 assists. But he has developed under Kobe. I'm not sure he'd have the same mentorship in Philadelphia. I think being on the Lakers has helped him quite a bit, but I think he would get picked by the Philadelphia 76ers if he did land to them in the actual NBA draft. On to the fourth overall selection, the New York Knicks originally selected Kristaps Porzingis with this pick. Many fans were crying about that pick, but who do you have the New York Knicks selecting in this 2015 redraft?
So sadly, in this redraft, they do not have the option to select Kristaps Porzingis, so I'd have them selecting Jahlil Okafor. Basically, Jahlil Okafor was the most polished product coming out of this draft. I mean, Jahlil Okafor was another of those players who there was no risk involved. He is exactly as promised. He rebounds, he scores, and he gets a few blocks. I mean, that's literally all you can ask for him. And I feel like he'll be able to expand on the numbers a little bit more, but I feel like for his entire career, he'll be the player who puts up let's say, I think like around 20 points and 10 boards his entire career, and I think that's a good thing. And the Knicks could use that with Carmelo Anthony.
See, but the one thing I think you could definitely argue to put Jahlil Okafor over Kristaps Porzingis. The one thing about Jahlil Okafor is he did have that off the court issues. He is averaging 18 points and 7 boards along with a steal and a block. So I mean, he has the talent, he has the numbers. I just see he'd be a perfect fit in New York and Los Angeles. I think the one thing is Kristaps Porzingis has shown more flashes of a better future than Jahlil Okafor has right now.
Also, Kristaps Porzingis is a 7-footer who can shoot. I mean, there's no way you can pass that up.
All right, on to the 5th overall selection in this 2015 redraft. The Orlando Magic originally selected wingman Mario Hezonja with this pick. Who do you see Orlando taking?
I have them selecting Devin Booker here. I mean, they already have Victor Oladipo and Fournier, but I feel like Devin Booker has proven that he can be. I think Devin Booker can be the next Kyle Korver, if not transcend that. I mean, this dude is a three-point artist as a rookie. I mean, oftentimes you see three-point specialists from college kind of struggle in their rookie seasons, getting used to that NBA three-point line, NBA defense. He's picked up right where he left off as Kentucky, draining threes at a high volume. I mean, if you're Orlando, Evan Fournier can do that in flashes, but I feel like Devin Booker's been the better three-point sniper. And if you have a distributor like Elfrid Payton or Brandon Jennings running the point, then you have Victor Oladipo playing, who's like more of like a athletic like dunker and driver than he is a three-point shooter. And you traded Channing Frye, who's a stretch. You have no three-point shooting in that lineup except for Evan Fournier in flashes. So I feel like you got to go with the three-point sniper.
Yeah, I also have them taking Devin Booker. You can easily have, if I were them, I'd have Devin Booker either start at shooting guard or be the sixth man. Either have him and Victor Oladipo flip that position, and then have Fournier start at the small forward. He might already be doing that, but I think Devin Booker, best three-point specialist in the entire draft. Like you said, he could be the next Kyle Korver, even better. I could even see him in a few years possibly developing into a Klay Thompson sort of thing. That's how he originally was when he came into the draft. So if Devin Booker can overall just develop his entire scoring game, he could be one of the elite NBA scorers in the next few years. On to the 6th overall pick, the Sacramento Kings originally selected Willie Cauley-Stein out of Kentucky with this pick. Who do you have them taking?
I have them taking Miles Turner. So I feel like Miles Turner, he's 19, right? Has proven that he can be a productive member of a team looking in the playoff hunt, and that's saying something in his rookie season, And he's proven he can score and rebound efficiently while also having to deal with not getting a lot of touches because Paul George and Monte Ellis are both ball-dominant scorers, and he's proven that he can be productive in that kind of environment, which is a very good trait to have.
Yeah, I know we haven't had a lot of inconsistency. I also have them taking Miles Turner. I think very talented big man, averaging about 10 and 6 and almost 2 blocks for the Indiana Pacers. He hasn't gotten a ton of playing time, like you said. Paul George and Miles Turner, ball-dominant scorers.
Monte Ellis,
well, like you said. Wait, what did I say?
You said Miles Turner.
Oh, Miles Turner, though, he is a very athletic, young big man, can put up I see him putting up double-doubles in his future career. He already has this year. I have Sacramento Kings pairing him up with DeMarcus Cousins. On to the 7th overall pick, the Denver Nuggets. Who do you have them taking?
I think their pick of Moutier was right on there. I mean, they still get Nikola Jokic later on in the draft. So, Moutier, he's proven that he was worth the pick. He can score and flash. The only thing Moutier has really not done is three-point shooting, but he was never expected to do that. He's proven he can be good. He's proven his potential and current play both add up to a good pick for the Nuggets.
Yeah, I think it's overall a great pick for the Nuggets. The one thing that they locked out was all the teams above them didn't necessarily need a star point guard for the future, and they did. They already had lots of big men. Emmanuel Mudiay having a pretty good season, averaging still around 12 points, 4 boards, and 6 assists. And like you said, he's not necessarily the best three-point shooter, but he's still shooting 31% from 3. So I think overall a great pick for the Denver Nuggets. Denver Nuggets still land their point guard of the future in our redraft. On to the 8th overall pick, the Detroit Motor City Pistons Who do you have them taking? Originally selected Stanley Johnson out of Arizona.
So our home team, like on draft night, I was like pacing around my kitchen. I was like, "Ooh, we can get Justice Winslow. We can get Justice Winslow. Stanley Johnson. Dang it!" But in this redraft, Justice Winslow still available. We take Justice Winslow. Justice Winslow has proven to be basically Stanley Johnson. I think basically Stanley Johnson and Justice Winslow will go back and forth their entire careers. But I feel like Justice Winslow will always be a year ahead in terms of the potential reaching. Because Stanley Johnson has played well. Justice Winslow has played better. He's basically been what Stanley 3 and D wing that can also attack and drive. He's basically been that, but at a higher volume than Stanley Johnson. You gotta go with Justice Winslow.
This is our first this is the first pick we've gotten that are not the exact same. I don't have even Stanley Johnson in. Why I don't have him taking Stanley Johnson. I have him taking Bobby Portis out of Arkansas. After all these injuries happened in Chicago, he's shown major flashes as an NBA starter. And the one thing the Pistons needed coming into this, well, two things. They needed a wing scorer, which they still got in Stanley Johnson, and a stretch four, which is Bobby Portis. And I think Bobby Portis would pair up great next to Andre Drummond. He's shown himself one of the greater stretch fours. Oh, what were you going to say?
I was going to say I think your Bobby Portis pick is good. I'm a compliment here because they have Tobias Harris, who has proven that he can be a wing scorer in flashes and can carry their offense.
And Marcus.
So I feel like Bobby Portis would also be a good pick here. But that perfectly segues into our next pick, the Charlotte Hornets. Originally selected Frank the Tank Kaminsky out of Wisconsin. See, in my redraft, I have them selecting Bobby Portis, like you said, when he got minutes after all the injuries in the front court with Joakim Noah, Taj Gibson, all those. He's proven that he can be a dominant low-post scorer, and I feel like with the Charlotte Hornets, you have Marvin Harrison who's a stretch four, Cody Zeller who doesn't do anything. And in this redraft, you don't have Frank Kaminsky, and Al Jefferson is their only true post scorer. I feel like when Al Jefferson checks out, who's you going to throw it to in the post to score? Bobby Portis is the answer to that question.
I have them taking Nikola Jokic out of, I'm not even sure, I think he's from foreign country, but
Serbia.
Yeah, but Nikola Jokic, he was a second-round pick, well, I believe he was a second-round pick or a late first-rounder, but he's having one of the most underrated rookie seasons out of everyone, playing for the Nuggets right now. But I mean, he's putting up 10 points, 7 boards, a steal, and a block. I mean, for a second-round pick, that is not what you expect. But I think Nikola Jokic has shown what the Charlotte Hornets would need. They wouldn't have Frank Kaminsky in this draft, and Nikola Jokic is a post-dominant scorer. I think you either back up Al Jefferson, pair him up at the power forward position, or just let Al Jefferson walk and let Nikola Jokic be your center for the rest of the future. All right, on to the final pick of this redraft. The number 10 overall Miami Heat originally selected Justice Winslow. Who do you have them selecting in this draft?
So, I was talking about Stanley Johnson, Justice Winslow. The Heat still would need a wing because Luol Deng is not the solution for them at that position. I think you select Stanley Johnson here as the Heat have a little bit more time to develop players than the Pistons, who the Pistons are trying to get right back into the playoff hunt right now. And I feel like Stanley Johnson, under the right coaching, which is Eric Spoelstra, is tremendous, right? And he'd get to learn from Luol Deng. I feel like he'd have better mentors here. I feel like Stanley Johnson would actually develop better with the Heat than he would with the Pistons. I feel like the Heat, Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra, all them boys down in South Beach have been proven to be very smart with their free agent signings draft. I feel like they would see that if he was on the board, and they would have taken him.
I actually also have him taking Stanley Johnson. I think Stanley Johnson overall has had a better career or first season than Justice Winslow. He's averaging like 3 more points and still getting 2 more boards. And I think they're both defensive wings that can, like, kind of just 3-and-D wings. But I think Stanley Johnson just looks like he has a better future than Justice Winslow right now. That's why I see Stanley Johnson being taken by Miami in this redraft. That is it for us today at Sports Storm. See you in the next one. Like, comment what you want us to talk about in the next video. Peace. Subscribe.